beloved. I welcome you to Restoration Revival Chapel International. And as always, I still remain your humble host, the senior prophet, Nana Self, and I welcome you to episode 8 of the Journey to Salvation. And if today happens to be your first time, why don't you smash on the subscribe button, turn on the post notification to be notified anytime we drop a new video, and I know that you're going to be blessed. Today is episode 8, and the title of this episode is Where Do You Stand? And as always, I'm glad to bring you the word of God. Beloved, share this word to others so that they might and they may also be blessed with it. Dear Christians, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, as according to Psalm 1, verse 1, the King James Version. There was a lady that once shared an experience. She had a circle roundabout in Accra at night, near an area widely known for prostitution. She was simply waiting by the roadside for a vehicle home, completely unaware that the exact spot where she stood was a hotspot for sex workers. A man approached her and asked, "How much for a night?" Confused, she ignored him and moved only a few steps away. Moments later, another man came and asked the same question. It suddenly dawned on her that she had been mistaken for a prostitute, not because of who she was, or even necessarily how she was dressed, but because of where she was standing. No amount of explanation changed her mind while she remained there until she left that location entirely. That incident teaches a powerful spiritual truth. Sometimes your location speaks before you do. The places you frequent, the company you keep, the conversation you entertain, the media you consume, and the environment you constantly place yourself in all communicate something about you. This does not mean we should isolate ourselves from unbelievers. Jesus himself spent time with sinners in order to save them, according to Luke chapter 5 verse 31 to 32. But there is a vast difference between reaching sinners and residing in sinful environments, between influencing people for Christ and being influenced away from Christ. David carefully described a dangerous progression in Psalm 1 verse 1. It begins by walking in the counsel of the ungodly, then standing in the way of sinners, and finally sitting in the seat of the scornful. What starts as casual association can eventually become comfortable identification. The Apostle Paul gave a similar warning. He says that do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good character, according to Psalm 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 33. Many believers have gradually drifted from God, not because they intended to abandon Him, but because they consistently stood where they should have never remained. Joseph understood this. When Potiphar's wife persistently tempted him, he did not stay to explain himself or negotiate. He fled from the situation, according to Genesis chapter 39 verse 7 to 12. Sometimes the greatest act of spiritual strength is knowing when to walk away. Daniel also chose a stand, living in Babylon, surrounded by idolatry and compromise, not by choice of his. Daniel proposed and purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself. Though physically present in a corrupt culture, he refused to stand with it spiritually. Today, standing in the way of the sinners may not necessarily mean standing on a street corner. It may mean lingering in conversations that dishonor God, remaining in relationships that continually pull you into sin, participating in dishonest business practices because everyone does it, or consuming entertainment that slowly dulls your love for holiness. The question is not only who you are, or who are you, or who you belong to, or which association you belong to, or what your name is. The question is also, where do you stand? If someone observed your life without hearing you speak, would your position point them towards Christ or away from Him? Choose to stand where God's presence is honored, where your faith is strengthened, and where your testimony remains clear. Because sometimes where people stand determines what people believes about who you are, and more importantly, what it does to your walk with God. Tell the world the word, be the word to the world, intercede for the world. Time is fast running. Jesus is coming soon.